Hi. Okay. All right. We are live. Okay. Fantastic. All right. We're going to go through a 30-second countdown and we're going to start the show. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. This is Connie Francis, and you're listening to my favorite DJ, Jimmy Dio.
Hey, Sandy Hall. How are you? Great to have you on the show. How's it going?
Hey, Jimmy. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Of course, you are a fabulous vocalist, songwriter, vocal coach. You're also an Ann Wilson Heart Tribute artist, band vocalist. Tell us how you got started in music, and I know you have a lot going on. So let's start right there. I know you started very young and in church, right?
I did. I started in church. I was kind of a shy child. I think I'm still a little shy here and there. Kind of like a mixed introvert extrovert. Sometimes the introvert comes out more than the extrovert. But as a shy child, I worked with a piano teacher in school, and she recognized that I could sing. You know, when they teach you, they have you like sing along. So she recognized that. I didn't really recognize it in myself, but she started me singing like in fourth grade, soloing in church. So it goes back very, very long way. And in the Philadelphia, New Jersey area, there was a show called Al Albert Showcase. Back in the day, I was on that show like in grade school. So been performing a very long time, and moved up from that to play at the South Jersey shore in the summers, and the tri-state area in many cover bands, and also originals. I always kind of like did a cover band and an original project on the side, or recording on the side. So I've been involved in that a very long time. Been a big part of my life.
So awesome. I mean, you always have a lot going on. I know, and you know, I've seen a few of the videos with the Kick It Out band, and boy, I was blown away. You are so good. I mean, what vocals? I mean, you are some vocalist for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know where it comes from sometimes, but it is cathartic in a way, I have to say, to sing full voice like that, especially songs. It's self-indulgent in many ways because I love the music and I grew up with the music. So being able to do it, and I've admired Ann and Nancy Wilson forever, you know, since their first album. So just being able to perform those songs, they're very moving. They stand the test of time. I feel very honored and fortunate to be able to continue to do that. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And congratulations on the new album. It's absolutely awesome. Full Circle. Tell us about the album putting this fantastic album together.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening, taking a listen at it. So Full Circle is my second album. The first album I put out in 2021 with a good friend, John Callahan, who wrote a lot of the songs. I co-wrote a couple. And then he produced the album as well. And we had some fantastic musicians on that album. Took some time, you know, to put together Full Circle. And my goal with that was multifold. So one was I really wanted to be more of the songwriter. So I co-wrote 9 of the 12 songs, and it was like a personal, you know, accomplishment to do that, because I always really wanted to. I've always been writing, but I didn't capture it on recording. So I did. That was one goal, and the other goal was to utilize the Kick It Out band members, because we've been together 16 years, and that's a long time, and they become like family. They're extremely talented folks. And I really wanted to get them on the album as well, because they all have their own original projects as well. So thought it would be a really way to commemorate those 16 years we've been together in the Heart Tribute by doing some of these original songs as well. So I should say I have I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No.
I have a couple guest artists as well that aren't on the band. One of them is Dan Reed from Dan Reed Network.
Nice.
I don't know if you're familiar with him, but Dan Reed was, touring with in the 80s, he toured with Bon Jovi. He opened, supported Bon Jovi with his band. He supported David Bowie and the Rolling Stones. So made a name for himself, but became a personal friend of ours, of our families, actually. And I met him at a show that I actually opened. I was one of the opening acts, and probably 11 years ago. And then we just connected. So I have him on 2 songs, Don't Talk, I Don't Talk, and also on Love Still Remains.
Okay.
I Don't Talk was actually nominated for the Josie Music Awards as the vocal event duo of the year. So we're nominated in that category. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, honored to have him. And then also there's a band called Heaven's Edge here locally. They were on Columbia Records back in the hair band days.
Right.
And we have guitar player Reggie Wu on My Feeble Words on that song, as well as Mark Evans on bass and vocals on 2 songs, My Feeble Words and The River Calls Me Home. Mark also plays in the Heart Tribute on and off. He has his own project with Heaven's Edge. So we have another bass player, Chris Hall, that plays when he can. So lots of really close, good friends that are also talented musicians on this album.
Yeah, I mean, tell me about writing some of those songs. I know a lot of the songs mean a lot to you. Tell us about the writing process. I mean, and you originally are from Croatia, right?
Yes. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
Came over when I was 7 years old. Had a mother that sang, not professionally, but had a really nice voice, and my dad too. So kind of a little bit of a musical family. But there's The River Calls Me Home was a song that I wrote after going back to Croatia. I went back. I had not gone for a long time. 1, there was a war. 2,
Right.
growing up in the U.S. At the time that I grew up, my parents really wanted me to assimilate. And by assimilating, they felt that would be successful in the U.S. So I kind of suppressed that Croatian side for a very long time. But those roots, wherever you come from, I think they kind of speak to you, especially as you get a little bit seasoned and older. You connect with that even more. At least for me, I did. So when I went back to Croatia and spent some time in my birthplace called Vukovar, it's the Danube River. It's a beautiful little city. I've never felt so home. And it's weird because I grew up here and I have a family here, but the song The River Calls Me Home is really based on that, and some of the sights and the sounds and emotions that I experienced being there.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great songs I love on the album. I mean, Just As I Am, great song. Tell us about that, the writing behind that.
Yeah. Thank you. So Just As I Am. So I should also mention John Callahan, who produced the album, mastered it, and he's like a jack of all trades.
Right.
He also co-wrote the songs with me, and there are 2 songs he didn't co-write. Another friend of mine, Chris DeMuro, did 2 songs, but John co-wrote The River Calls Me Home, as well as Just As I Am. And my process, really, you were asking a little bit about that, is I really like to write the lyrics and the ideas, and sometimes the melodies. So the process was he would send me instrumental music, like on a loop sometimes, verse and chorus, and then I would just write lyrics to it, or I'd hear melody first and sort of just hum the melody and record that. And then when we got together, we would combine, some of the lyrical ideas I had or sentences that I had into a song. It's kind of a cool process. It did take long, so they feel like 12 babies, like 12 children.
You have a favorite?
Gosh, I don't know. That's a great question. I think I really like singing Fall from Grace.
Oh, okay.
About that one that I wrote with Chris DeMuro. And I do like Love Still Remains, and I don't. I haven't yet picked a favorite, but those I know I feel good singing. So I think that probably, those probably lean into being my favorites. But Just As I Am is really about coming to terms with yourself as a woman, and just those feelings of, I guess it can apply to a man as well, Jimmy, but a woman. But it's about, just accepting yourself for who you are, that you're enough, no matter how you go through life, always trying to kind of be better. and always kind of upping yourself one, and I need to do this better and that better. And realizing at a certain point that you're great the way that you are, and you just living life and loving people is really what it's about.
Exactly. I mean, do you write from like past experiences and life experiences? What really, influences your thoughts in writing music?
Yeah, I would say for this album
Hmm.
specifically, it is very personal.
Hmm.
Of course, when you write, I'm sure you talk to a lot of talented people, but when you write, you have that in mind. You also infuse other things, maybe things that someone said to you, a story that a good friend had, expressed. So you extract things from those as well. So it becomes more global and not just personal. But I would say for this album, I drew a lot from my own personal experiences for the most part, and then used some things that, like Fall from Grace. Was really about disappointment and coming to terms with how we expect a lot of people
Hmm.
on a pedestal, and they can be friends, they can be lovers, they can be celebrities, people that we admire, and then they show a fault, or make a mistake, and they fall from grace from that sort of high up place that you put them on.
Right.
And what came to mind with that too was, some celebrities in recent years, like a Will Smith, like a Johnny Depp, and all those things that we hear on the news, and we realize they're just human like
Hmm.
us. So we're more like each other than not. And you think like, okay, well, that person disappointed me, but maybe I've disappointed someone. So we're all kind of in the same boat.
Right. Right. Now you worked a long time on the album, right? It's been a long time in the making, right? How
Oh
many?
yeah.
2 years at least.
Almost 2 years, I would say almost 2 years. Really, started thinking about it after the Josie Awards in 2021, after I,
Right.
released that other album, my first album. I did win a Josie Award then for Rock Artist of the Year. Um,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And that really validated a lot for me, Jimmy, because I didn't, other than the Grammys, I didn't really focus in on award kind of submissions. I
Right.
just didn't think about it. You're busy working, doing things that you don't think about all that. But when that happened, it really was a surprise in that it was very personally validating for all those years of being in the business. It's nice to be recognized. I mean, we don't do it for that,
Right.
but
Of course.
happens, it's lovely. And it made me feel like, you know what, if there's still an audience out there for me, if there are people interested, from hearing my perspective, or moved a little bit by my performance, then I will keep doing it. So I thought it was time to really go a step beyond and be part of that writing process with John and Chris on the album, and express myself even more.
Wow. And 7 nominations for the Josie Awards in 2024.
Yeah,
Wow.
so lucky. So we'll see. I mean, now it'll be 21 was the first time I went, and with each year, I'll tell you, those categories, the talent gets. I mean, it's really competitive. I
Right.
think the word has gotten out. People come from all over the world: Australia, United Kingdom, Canada. They're really coming from everywhere. It's
Right.
kind of every year they up their game. So I'm just honored to have the nominations, because that means someone reviewed my work and
Hmm.
it was worthy of even that level. And if I win something, fantastic. But if not, I'm so grateful to even have those nominations, truly.
Absolutely. And it's at the Grand Ole Opry House, right? Is
Yeah.
usually where it takes place.
Yes, it's a really cool thing. If anybody out there in the music business is listening and they're questioning whether they'd want to submit or go, I mean, it's a legit organization. Lovely women, family, Josie and Tina Marie Passantino and her husband, and it's like a family affair. They put that together. A lot of work, but what a way to showcase independent music. And independent talent. So I wouldn't hesitate, if I was an artist, to go ahead and look at their website and apply for real.
Yeah, I know two friends of mine, Lee Newton, who's going to be on the show. She's been on the show several times. She always goes every year, and also Danny Stefanetti, who's been on my show, is also one. I know there's one awards there as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lee's amazing. And I actually, a little connection with Lee, other than seeing her at the Josie Awards, because she performed last year. She was very good.
Yeah.
Uh, But she and I did during the pandemic, we got involved with ladies who rock for a cause,
Right.
and run by a woman named Sharon Leah in this Philadelphia area. And Lee was one of the performers, as was I. So that was my first time that I saw her. And immediately, obviously she's extremely talented as well, and love her songwriting and music.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a great time. Are you a big country fan when you go down to Nashville? I mean, a lot of country down there.
A lot of country down there. I would say I am. It's not my. I'm really a rocker at heart, and more so classic rock than anything. But I appreciate talent, and no matter what they're doing. And when we went to Nashville, actually, that was like my first time during the Josie Awards that got me down there. I love the old country. Like I love Johnny Cash, Connie Francis.
Yeah.
My mom, although we played Croatian music when I was little, but it was Connie Francis in my house,
Right.
that I go on Sunday mornings as my mom was cooking up dinner, and Humperdinck, what's his Engelbert?
Engelbert, yeah, he's been on the show, and Connie's been on my show. They're all great people.
Yeah. So I like that kind of country. I mean, some of the country is almost like pop music now. The modern country is very crossover, right? So I don't know if I'll ever write a country song, but you never say never.
But I love the rock feel to your album. I mean, it's so great. I mean, you can tell the Heart influence. Were you always a Heart fan growing up? How did you become a Heart tribute artist? Tell us about that.
Yeah, always. And I will, before we run out of time, I have to say kudos to all the Heart tribute band members. So it's Susan Salmon, who's the Nancy Wilson of the band, her husband, Billy Salmon, both on my album, and both playing, Susan plays multiple instruments like guitar and violin and mandolin.
Correct.
Billy Salmon really put that edge on those songs on Full Circle. He's the guitar player and Kick It Out also. Scott Culver's the drummer. He's fantastic. Good guy, great drummer and Kick It Out, and did all the songs on Full Circle. Chris Hall played bass in the band as well as on the album.
Right.
And we have, like I said before, Mark Evans had done some background vocals, as well as Helene Ryan, who in Kick It Out plays keyboards and does backgrounds.
Right.
I think I've covered everybody, but it's just the band started 16 years ago. So 2008, I went to and to answer your question, I've always been a Heart fan. I'm probably one of the biggest Heart fans because I see them every time they come. Always connected to the music, early Ann Wilson was had a little bit of a Karen Carpenter kind of tone in Dreamboat Annie album, right?
Mm-hmm.
Loved Karen Carpenter as well. And so like that combo of that beautiful voice, who someone said this before, Ann Wilson doesn't have a voice, she has a weapon. And by that I mean she takes no prisoners. So when I do it, I'm not Ann Wilson, but I try very hard to take the intention of the songs, the intention of where she would have been in her head, and then that power that she intends to put forth in each song. I really channel that, for lack of a better word. I try to channel that.
And you do it very well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to a concert in Camden, New Jersey, and it was like Journey, Cheap Trick, and Heart. And I saw that audience there in 2008 or 2007. I can't remember which year, but 2008 we got together because I knew Susan since high school, and I was like, I know the perfect Nancy. She actually plays the parts and then some. Very good musician, beautiful woman, lovely person. And then I knew her husband was also a guitar player. I was like, wow, this is perfect. We have half the band. So we've been doing it ever since, and really enjoy each other and being on stage and the music.
That's so awesome. And Full Circle crosses so many multiple genres of music, right? Tell us about that. I mean, it's not more than rock and roll.
Yeah. Thank you. Full Circle actually is the song on the album I wrote with Chris Mura, who I've known since first grade. When I meet somebody I like, I stick with them. Like, so I've been, friends with her a long time. We wrote songs together back then, and we kind of, she moved away and pursued a career actually in some country music and moved to Arizona. And then I stayed in this area. And then when we reconnected, that's the song that came out of our reconnecting, Full Circle. And And that song is nominated in the Americana category at the Josie Awards. And Fall from Grace is nominated rock category at the Josie Awards. So really lucky to have 3 songs nominated.
Right.
And you know, I just write what I feel. And when got together with Chris, she has a little more of that folk Americana feel to her playing.
Right.
So we got together, though, you know, that's the way the songs came out. A little bit different than rock, but like I said, Full Circle on the album is acoustic. Fall from Grace, Billy Salmon added his guitar, and that really gave it that rock edge, even though it started out differently. But you know, you put a little bit of everybody's energy and atoms in DNA into it, and it changes.
Sure. Absolutely. I absolutely love it. It really rocks. And also, I want to talk about I Don't Talk, also nominated, right? Tell us about that song with Don Reed.
With Dan Reed, yeah. So, that song's just really about, you know, sometimes you want to, when you have a fight with someone or there's a relationship conflict, you talk it out. And other times you just want to move on. You don't want to talk about it. You just want to put it behind you. So that song is really about that. It's just about that experience of it happened. That's it. Let's just move on. And again, forgive and forget. But yeah, we got Dan on there because I sang with Dan many years ago, as I said, and I noticed that our voices had an interesting blend together. I thought he'd be perfect for that song, and he is. We have a little different voice, but you know, when certain voices just blend really nicely, even if they have a different tone and texture. And there's definitely a connection there with ours. It sort of intertwines nicely.
Awesome. And you've opened for so many people. I mean, Joan Jett, right? Kip Winger. Tell us about opening for Joan Jett. That must have been really cool. I met Joan Jett. She's a great lady. And also Kip Winger, I heard, is really cool. So tell us about that.
Yes, sure. So with Joan, it was at, was it 2017, I think, or something like that. Played a festival, Ocean City, Maryland, called Sunfest, and we were right before Joan. She was just, we didn't, to be honest, we didn't spend a lot of time together, but she was really, really cool. Made some nice comments. Her agent came over and said when she first heard us playing, she thought it was, like a DJ playing a heart song. So I was like, wow, that was really cool. And she just came over and said hi. She was very lovely, very humble, I would say, and you probably know more because you've interviewed her, but she was very humble. In fact, there were a lot of, you have the buses at these festivals, you get lots of big buses, and there were a lot of big buses, and we thought one of those was hers, but hers was like the smallest little trailer.
Really?
We're like, oh wow, that's Jones, that's cool. So that was nice. Kip Winger, I met, oh my gosh, probably around 2008, 2009, and just connected with him. I got up to sing with him, Miles Away, one of their songs, a really great song. And then we just sort of stayed in touch. In fact, maybe in my next album, I'll ask him to do a song, and Red Beach from Winger. But the really cool event that happened that I remember, which was kind of rare because they don't call people up when they're full band, in Ocean City, not Maryland. This time it was Ocean City, New Jersey. I had come to see him with my daughter, and I had told him about my daughter because I don't know if you know, but Kip writes ballet music, and my daughter is a professional dancer.
Oh, nice.
And so I had brought her to the show, and we were right up front, and he asked me to come up on stage. Like, I had no idea it was going to happen. And you will know if you see the video, it's out there. I'm wearing a sweater, not like any cool clothes.
Right.
And Red Beach actually said, "Is that your mommy sweater?" Because it was so like not cool. But anyway, I got up and sang Miles Away with the full band, and wow, what a cool experience that was. But yeah, and I opened for Kip at Sellersville Theater in Pennsylvania in 2011. I think that was very cool experience. He's an amazing musician, composer, classical.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Really, a lot to learn from him for sure.
And you've been compared to so many great people. I mean, Stevie Nicks, Melissa Etheridge, right? So many great singers, of course, Ann Wilson. But that must be a great honor for you to be honored, remembered, and talked about, and compared to all these like great legendary people.
It's wonderful, and I'm humbled by those comments. Actually, I do have a strong voice, and I only admit to it because it comes from my mom. It's my mom had the same voice, and so I have her to thank for the gift, really. And I hope I can keep doing it. Singing Ann Wilson and singing the heart music has been a training, almost like a master class in vocal aerobics.
Right.
So it has taught me a lot. I've taken, lessons over the years when I was younger, but doing these songs is really, I mean, it's amazing. Her voice, even now at 75, I think, it's just fantastic. She's like I was going to say a freak of nature, but there must be a nicer way to say it. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
like a Tom Jones, like some people just have that. So to be even slightly mentioned amongst those fantastic artists and singers is extremely humbling, and I appreciate that. I hope I can continue to live up to that.
Absolutely. Have you ever met her?
Yes, I have. I have a couple of stories which I won't bore you with all the details, but
That's all right.
back in the day, I wasn't in a heart tribute. I was a young singer, but like it was like 1983, maybe they were here with Bolton, and I had met them because I had a friend that was a photographer, and she had a backstage pass, and she knew I loved heart, so we stood backstage and went down that Spectrum. I don't know if you remember the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
Sure. Yeah. That's where they did the Rocky fight, right?
Yes. So we went down the back, and it was like really cool. Limos pulled up with all the heart members, all that rock.
Right, of course.
And we spent time with Howard Leese, and I got to meet her. Again, I mentioned earlier, I am a little bit of an introvert, and she's my idol. So the best I could do was, hi, and you're really wonderful. like I couldn't talk to her like a normal person. And then years later, they have a lot of these meet and greets, now that they do at the shows. So I've done that probably 3 times since. And the same thing, I go up there and I'm like, I freaking can't talk to her. But
Wow.
I do. Her drummer, Ben Smith, Ben Smith was her drummer for many years, probably like 20 years. He's not the original drummer, of course, but all through like the 90s and beyond.
Right.
Smith is a friend of Dan Reed and Brooke Lazat. I don't want to like name people that name it, that you don't know, but
Right.
they were like mutual friends. They like knew each other. So I got to meet Ben, and he knew that I was in a heart tribute band. So that was kind of cool. So she may know, but I have not had the guts to like say, hey, Ann, I'm in a heart tribute band. Even those times that I met her, I felt it wasn't the appropriate time. If I had met her in a different circumstance where there was more time, maybe I would mention it, but I haven't.
Yeah, they were amazing. I got to see them at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, and man, what a show it was! They were just amazing. And I'm telling you, every time I watch your videos and hear you, it's like I'm just blown away. I mean, you sound so much like her. It's amazing. It really is.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, I work at trying to channel her, and it's been, the material is not easy to sing. It's definitely hard to sing full voice. I've heard some heart tributes where they do go into a falsetto, but Ann does not do falsetto, so I don't do falsetto. If I have to do falsetto someday, I'll stop the heart tribute. I won't do it.
Tell us about your videos. I know you have a lot of videos out there. I've seen them on YouTube.
Yeah, one that comes to mind is See Through from my first album. My niece actually is a cinematographer, and she's very creative. So her name is Katerina Poljak, and she did that video for me. It's very interesting way of doing it. I have a lot of live videos, and actually, Jimmy, that's another thing for the Full Circle album. The next step for me is to release some videos around those songs. And one of them, I have the idea of, Croatia and the Danube with The River Calls Me Home, and kind of tying all those visuals in for that. So there's a couple ideas floating around that I'm hoping to work on this fall, and that'll kind of reconnect people. I mean, the album now, it came out in April, and nowadays when something's out 2 weeks, it becomes old.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I
Do
think
you enjoy doing the videos? You like making videos?
I do. I think it's, I do. It's pretty cool. Yeah, we have a compilation heart tribute video that's been out there. Another thing I'd like to redo, just to kind of update everything.
Yeah, I mean, tell us how to get the album. Where is it available, and how can all your fans get a hold of it right now?
Yeah, so to get hard copies and actual CD copy like this,
I like that.
this is the hard copy, and it's actually pretty cool. I didn't open it, but inside there's an insert and everybody's pictures in it that's on the album, and a couple other cool shots from this photo shoot. It's at sandyhallmusic.com, and just go to the shop button, and then you can order it straight from me, from my website. But it's on every streaming platform. So, on Spotify, iTunes, it's on Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio. It's everywhere. So wherever you'd like to stream music, it's there. Just Sandy Hall Full Circle, and you should be able to find me.
And it's absolutely awesome. It really is, And you've also worked in commercials and stuff like that, right? But at one point in time?
Yeah, I did this will date me, a Carefree Gum commercial. Where, it went to like 11, I think it was like 11 cities nationally. So I did a little bit of that kind of work. I did a lot of demo work that didn't make it to the big time. Like I remember doing I think it was Hot Pockets. I did some of that, and that's a familiar one, but that's not my voice. So I did a lot of work like that. I enjoy it. It's a whole different process in the studio than it is live. A different set of skills that I think you have to master.
Absolutely. And I know you're doing a tour, right? You got a lot of live shows coming up. Tell us about some of those shows in New Jersey coming up.
Sure. And I have to so excuse me for referencing my phone, but next one is July 12th at the Woodbury Arts Festival in Woodbury, New Jersey. And that's
Great.
what we get out. 27th, Excursion Park in Sea Isle, New Jersey, for all those folks down the shore. And then in Philadelphia, August 7th at Pennypack Concerts, now held at Constadters in Northeast Philly.
Oh, cool.
Then Ventnor near Atlantic City, Ventnor Summer Concert Series on Ski Beach, August 1st. And August 29th, Paradise Grill in Long Neck, Delaware. That is such a cool venue. If you haven't been there, it feels like you're in the tropics. It's real. They've got palm trees and everything. Really? It's really, and that our website, well, those are on my website too, but the kickitoutband.com has all the update information. And we're also on Facebook. I do have a show, Acoustic Originals. I had a few this month, actually. We had some really cool ones. But the next one coming up is September 11th. September 11th at Gorgas Park in Philadelphia. We open up for a band called The Providers, but we're doing, about a half hour or so of original music.
Nice. So, any plans to come to New York City or Brooklyn or Long Island?
I'm open to that. I would love to play some places like that. I'm working on trying to get some more shows with the original songs, and I'd like to do full band shows. So if anybody out there has a venue or an agent that's interested, I have an agent for the Kick It Out Heart Tribute, but that's like a whole specialized sort of thing.
Right.
But if there's an agent out there that books original acts in some of these singer-songwriter places, that would be cool. Looking into some of that, and I'll post it on my website when we get those dates up. Talking to some people now, so hopefully secure it for the fall.
I heard you do some vocal training too.
Yes, thank you for asking. I do. There's my husband Chris and I have a little music school. It's actually, he runs most of it now. It's called Northridge Music School in the Philadelphia area. He teaches guitar and bass, and we have a piano teacher. And I do vocal coaching. So a couple years ago, I did more. It's become, I do have a day gig that helps fund some of the art projects, like, Full Circle CD and everything else. So balancing all that, I haven't had as many students, but it's out there. And if I have the opportunity, I still do that. I love talking to young artists that are interested and, have talent and need some direction. I love doing that.
Right. And I know music can be very healing. And I know you have something to do with the medical field, right? Tell us about that.
I do. I do. So I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse like Mama Judd.
Awesome. So awesome.
She's a registered nurse as well. So yeah, I have been doing that for, oh my gosh, like 25 years.
Right.
Alongside, like I said, a lot of times, and this is what I tell young artists and young singers, even though you may not love your day gig, it does help fund your passion. So
Absolutely.
it's helped me with that. But the medical field kind of also aligned a little bit with my personality of wanting to take care of people.
Mhm.
I think there are some commonalities with performing, because you move people with performing in a different way, and then as a nurse, it's more physical, hands-on, helping people. But it is essentially the same thing. You're just healing people in a different format.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of healing in music. So, I mean, you're healing people in everything that you do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's so awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on this show. Tell us once again how your fans can keep in touch with you on social media, and again, how to get your fantastic music.
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Jimmy. It's really been a pleasure, and way overdue. I think we were trying to.
Yeah. I mean, this has been a long time in the making.
But yeah, I'm on Facebook, Sandy Hall Music, and you just push that into the search button, and you can find me there. Kick It Out Band, tribute, Kick It Out Heart Tribute, also on Facebook. You can message me there, and Sandy Hall Music. You can message me there at my website, kickitoutband.com. And again, the album's on all streaming platforms through CD Baby, so it's distributed everywhere. If you'd like to listen and save, I should say that too. If you could save it, that helps the artist. And if you
Absolutely.
buy a hard copy, it really helps the artist.
Absolutely. Hard copies always work. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Sandy. You're the best. And I wish you all the luck with the Kick It Out band. And I wish you all the luck with Full Circle. It's a fantastic album. I hope everybody goes out and gets a copy of it. It really rocks.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting with you, and I appreciate your time very much.
Oh, well, thank you, Sandy. I appreciate you coming on the show. You're the best.
Thank you. You are as well.
Thank you so much. Keep me updated and come back again.
I will.
Absolutely. Bye-bye. Thanks again.
You.
I appreciate it. All right. Sandy Hall right there. Fantastic vocalist, heart tribute artist. Full Circle, wonderful album. Be sure to go pick it up. Check her out on social media. Coming up on Celebrity Spotlight Friday night, live from the Westgate in Las Vegas, Elvis tribute artist Daniel Durston's going to be here. He has a brand new show called The King Comes Home. And so Daniel will be hanging out with me this Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time on Celebrity Spotlight. Again, it's Daniel Durston. He's live from Las Vegas, the Westgate, formerly the International, and the Hilton, where Elvis used to perform, where he had his 7-year residency. So that's going to be fantastic. We can't wait to talk to Daniel. Also, actress Rachel Whittle will be here on Monday, and she is doing a movie that's, I think it's going to be re-released actually on July 7th coming up, and it's also with Eric Roberts. So we'll find out all about that and working with Eric Roberts, and she's done a lot of great stuff in her career. So we'll find out a lot from actress Rachel Whittle. Also, Olivia Newton-John, tribute artist. Her name is Moore. She will be here, and she's going to tell us all about her career and tell us all about her. She's got a show coming up in August that she wants to talk about, and we'll find out all about Moore and Olivia Newton-John and her influences in music as well. And also, my friend country recording artist Lee Newton comes back for the third time. So I'm excited about talking to Lee. She's always got so much going on. She's opening, I think, for Sarah Evans coming up soon. She just recently opened for Randy Travis. So we'll find out all about that. She's becoming a huge star in Nashville. So very excited about that. And Owen Elliott's going to be here, the daughter of Mama Cass Elliott from the Mamas and the Papas. So I'm excited about that. She has a brand new book out in the stores, and we'll talk all about that book, and she'll be here on Celebrity Spotlight. I'll keep you updated exactly when the date is for that. So it's been coming up here in July. So thanks a lot for listening, everybody. I really appreciate it. This Saturday night, I want to remind you too, at Theater 3, the world's leading John Denver tribute artist, my friend Ted Vigil, will be out there. He's going to perform about 8 o'clock at night on Saturday, Theater 3, theater3.com. A few tickets left, so go check that out. I mean, he's a great performer. It's a great show. So if you're a John Denver fan, you're going to want to see Ted Vigil in concert. This guy's amazing. All right. So everybody have a great 4th of July. And also, don't forget to join me the 5th of July with Daniel Durston, the Elvis tribute artist, live from Las Vegas. So live from the Westgate. I want to wish everybody a fantastic night, and I will catch you Friday night. Enjoy the 4th of July, and we will see you then. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. And also thanks to my producer, Cindy, Tom listening out there, my mom in Brooklyn. So many people listen to the show every week. I know Beryl's out there in Virginia. Thank you. So I think John was out there in Canarsie. So many people that listen to the show every week. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And everybody have a fantastic night. Bye-bye, everybody.